He's only got $300,000. No way he can retire. But he's got a pension. So that, Josh, you didn't say that he has a pension. Yes, pension's $400 a month. Well, you know, it's got, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so my man, we'll call him Chuck. Chucky! And let's just say Chuck has got, he's what, 63, I think is what he was, 63. He's got $300,000. He's been saving like a crazy man last about 5-6 years or something like that. He's got a mortgage too, by the way. And he and his better half, they want to retire. They said, I've had enough, man. I've had enough. I'm ready to call it a career. He didn't think there's any way he could retire. It's like, dude. So I'm running the number. I've been doing this for so long. I already know it. But literally, I already know what's going to happen. I know it. And the one thing is, I'm looking at stuff, I see he didn't have a mortgage in there. He had a mortgage about the payment. So it came up 100% as I'm doing my pre-crunch in the numbers before I talked to him. And I said, well, he's only got $284,000 on it. So I said, that's not a huge mortgage, but it's at 3 1/8. So that's not a huge payment, 30-year mortgage. So all right. And I'm like, okay, but that's not in there. So I'm thinking maybe that's why he's got 100%. But we also had significantly higher healthcare expenses than what he will have, because he'll certainly qualify for Obamacare premium credits, because a portion of his portfolio is in a brokerage account, which is why we want to have a brokerage account or money market or a Roth that we can tap into so we can potentially qualify for Obamacare premium credits before Medicare. All right, he's got an RV loan, 2.99%. So he's got a mortgage, RV loan, and healthcare. I'm like, maybe he's, but I mean, I've done this a long time. And he did not have Social Security in there. So he didn't use anything for Social Security. So that's where I'm like, well, I don't know, man. But I mean, I'm thinking, like, his salary, he should have a pretty good Social Security amount. But I was like, well, we'll see. But I already knew it. So he showed his expenses. It's just day-to-day stuff. About $2,000 a month, for electricity, is, eating out, whatnot. They don't spend a lot of money. They got an RV, they got Jeep, it's just he and his wife, no kids, $300,000. So I'm getting to talk about my man Chucky Nice, and I said, Chuck Nice, how much is your mortgage payment? And that's $1,400 a month. All right, so we got $1,400 a month. Escrow is a little bit more. He was in a very low income tax state and no income tax state, and a very low property tax state as well. I said, okay, gotcha. New construction, so it shouldn't have any maintenance issues for a long time. We hope. We don't know, but we hope. Chucky is in good health, like me. He doesn't really trust a medical establishment. He goes once a year to get his blood work done. But other than that, he's like, I don't need to go there. And of course, if we have an issue, we have to do out-of-pocket stuff. We'll have to cross that bridge. But, I don't plan on going to the doctor unless I have to. He looks like he's in good shape. He looks good. He's a fired-up guy. Just good guy, man. Crush him. His wife was not on the phone, so I didn't see her on the video, so I didn't see her. But he says she's in better shape than he. And of course, she puts him to shame with her looks. And I said, that doesn't surprise me, Chuck. I mean, look at you. Just goofing. Anyway, so we're crunching numbers. I said, Chuck, you got $2,000 a month, and here's your monthly expenses. Is that right? And he goes, yeah, dude. He told me what he got. I said, so he goes, basically what I need is about $4,000 a month when I factor in my mortgage, my eating out. They like to go to the big city once in a while and go get a steak or something like that. But they don't spend that much money. They do RV, but they don't spend a whole lot of money. And I said, well, that's impossible. Everyone tells me you can't afford to retire without $100,000 a year in income. He goes, I don't know, man. He's making good money now, because I'm making good money now, and I don't come anywhere near spending what my income is. And I got a mortgage and all that. I said, okay. So we're crunching the numbers, and lo and behold, he comes at 100%. And why? Because his social will be $3,700 a month at his full retirement age. His wife, who doesn't have much of an income, her social will be half of his at her full retirement age. So $3,700, I don't know what that is, $1,350? No, 37 divided by 1850? Yeah, 1850. I don't know what those two numbers are together. We'll just say for simplicity, $5,000 a month. It might be a little bit more than that. But I say in this day and age, man, not this day and age, I said 67, your benefit will be about $5,000 a month. Now, she's a little bit younger than him, so you got to subtract a little bit off her spousal benefit. But $3,750 plus $3,700 plus $1,850. I don't know what that is, but that's more than $5,000 a month. So I said, so if you need $48,000 a year, all right, and I gave him an extra for health insurance because once they're on Medicare, it's gonna be $1,000 a month. And I gave them an extra for vacay. I said, I'm like, dude, you're 100% chance you're not running out of money. And here's why. Because worst case scenario, the worst case scenario is you die, your wife is left with your Social Security, and you don't have a mortgage. No, I mean, that's assuming 10 years. They don't have a whole lot of years left in the mortgage because they're paying $1,400 a month, and the amortization said about 10, maybe 15 years. But I said, okay. I said the second worst case scenario is the market goes down 30%. Your wife is left with $180,000. Your Social Security, she still has a mortgage, but she'd have to feed you. I mean, that's literally the worst case scenario. What's the likelihood of that happening? Not very high. Could it? Sure. It's not likely because Chucky Nice is in good shape. But even that's the worst case scenario. She has all this equity in her house. But that's not going to happen. I mean, again, it could happen, but most likely it won't. So I said, we went forward in the software, and I said, look, by the time you're 90 and you kick out, your wife is 85, her RMDs are freaking, I think it was like 30,000 a year, I can't remember, 25,000 a year or something like that. I said, she's just not running out of money. The only thing that could be the worst case scenario is that you die too soon, the market goes down, and you still have a mortgage. That's it. And the likelihood of that happening just isn't very high. When I say too soon, in the next 5 years. So once they're on Social Security, she'll get $3,700 a month from his account. And again, I don't know what that is, about $44,000 a year or something like that. And again, it's her portfolio is down to $150,000. It took a 50% decline or something like that. I said, okay, she got $45,000 a year, $150,000 in her portfolio, and a very limited debt. That's the worst case scenario? That seems okay by me. So anyway, and Chuck's like, Josh, I don't understand how people don't get this. You're the only guy who gets it. I said, I don't get it either. I don't understand. But there you go, man. So that's what happens to my man Chuck. Just a legend out there. It's funny because Chuck and I were dancing around like he emailed me, or he left a voicemail. I don't really check my voicemail very much. I was like, who the hell is this guy? I said, I don't know who this guy is. So I was looking up my software. I couldn't find it. I was like, who is this guy? I couldn't find it because, anyways, long story short, we finally connected. I was glad we did because it's just a good guy, man. I'm a fan of my man Chuck. So anyway, just remember, Social Security, for most of you guys, it's probably between $3,000 to $4,000 a month. All right, that's $36,000 to $48,000 a year. That's for a single guy. Most of you guys probably not gonna have a mortgage. Yeah, you'll lose it. If you're single, you lose $500 a month to health insurance. All right, but that's like the worst case scenario. Now, if you have a mortgage of $3,000 a month, that's be tough. But a lot of you guys don't, because we're fellow travelers, man. We just don't. We're not spendthrifts here at Heritage Wealth Planning. We're just like, dude, I just need enough money to put food on the table, to be able to get my wife a new pair of shoes on occasion. Well, if you're single, I don't know, I need enough money I don't even know what a single guy does. Gets a ribeye. I don't know why you do that, because ribeye is nasty. You don't want to get New York strip. But let's just say you like to go to, I don't know, I have no idea what a single guy does. I feel like I'm single half the time because I work from home. And I just get a book. Anyway, God bless. Love your thoughts.